Good morning, Chad from One Body Wellness, and I want to thank you for jumping on this call, or this video, I should say, or conference call. Essentially, what we're going to do is I want to show you the software that we're going to be using, which is the Zoom Cloud Meeting software. And so I'm going to show you how to go from the email or the invite to logging in and registering, and we'll also go through what some of these controls are. I'll try and go through it fairly slowly. I do find that sometimes I do have a tendency to get a little carried away, um, but just bear with me. And again, this is being recorded, so you'll be able to stop it, go back if you need to, and watch it again. And we'll always have time for we can always organize the time for a Q&A. If you have any questions or answers, you can email me. And yeah, because if when we do eventually get to roll out these classes, I want you to be as comfortable using the software as possible. And so to give, I guess, to start off with, some people, might have some concerns about or heard rumors or reports, I should say, and articles on the safety and the security of Zoom. But essentially, to give you a quick idea from what I have gathered, when you do first set up the software, what I would suggest is using an email, not logging in via Facebook, if that is still an option. Because some people, were concerned that not that Zoom shares your information, but when you log into Facebook, potentially there is a possibility for your information and to be shared. So we want to try and minimize that and keep your information as safe as possible. Now, one of the new features that they have done is that if I just move my cursor here, if we move up, excuse me, into the top left corner, sorry, you'll see this little green lock. And so if we highlight it, it says your client connection is encrypted. So what that is telling us is that they have improved the security and then the privacy. So as we click on that, you'll notice that not everybody can access your information. There have been reports of people hacking into Zoom accounts, but primarily those have been those accounts that have been hacked are people putting them on, say, Facebook, in a social environment or in a public environment. Whereas all the links that we will be sending you for the classes will be private. They will only be accessible to Halcyon homeowners, and they will require a password. So if somebody doesn't have the link and they don't have the password, they will not be able to hack in and join in our meeting or in our class. Because a lot of the hacking that has been done has been through those public links, and people have been sharing pornographic content, just derogatory comments. But I can also allow who I want into the meeting. So we will have a lot more of that control as well. So I want to make sure that you stay safe and your information stays secure. But as you'll see when you go in and register for a Zoom account, that there's very little information that they require for you to get started. We have looked at some of the other platforms, but they don't seem to offer the same functions that Zoom do to allow us to offer you a good server, a great service. There are some things that we're still learning as well. So as we roll out the classes, please bear with us. Technology is always going to be an issue, but as it's getting better, and because we're all kind of thrown into this massive melting pot of using online systems to just get through daily life, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible for you. And I think everybody's trying to make everything secure. So Zoom is probably one of the more popular ones. It went from about 10 million users in February to 200 million users. So it's been a massive expansion, for that company, and nobody was expecting this. So they're doing all they can to help keep us safe and secure as well. So I wanted to get stuck in, and I'm going to share a few screens. So again, bear with me. This is the first time I've shared screens, so it might be a little bit disjointed, but we'll have a little bit of fun with it, and hopefully it makes sense. But like I said, feel free, afterwards, send me an email, ask me any questions, and I'll try and answer them as best I can. So I'm just going to go down here and click on the share screen to give you a rough idea. So there's a few different ways we can use the Zoom platform. One is like I'm doing on a laptop, but you can also use a smartphone, whether iPhone, Samsung, Android, iOS, or a tablet. So an iPad, or say like a Samsung Lenovo tablet. So if we'll just show you quickly how to get it started onto your phone or tablet. And so the easiest way is if we just open up this. I'll make sure, see if I can find the one I'm after. So now I'm just up here in the top corner. I'll just drop that down a little bit. So essentially what we want to find first is, if we go into the App Store for Apple or your Google Play Store, you want to search for Zoom Cloud Meetings. And then, I think it will say get or download. And so you just want to click on that and it will be downloaded to your device. If you're using a laptop or a desktop, that you'll be able to, you don't need to download anything just yet. You'll get the link. And so when you open it up on a tablet or a smartphone, you'll need the meeting ID, and I'll show you that in the email itself. So let's go to that right now. So here's an email that I've done up beforehand. So basically, once it's all set up, they will be recurring meetings. So the passwords and the links for each class will be unique for that class, but that the passwords will be the same for that class as well. So you won't need to enter it all the time. But when you get your invite, so it'll come up with a topic, so Halcyon Zoom Zoom meeting tutorial. It'll give you a time for the class. So say we're doing Revive at 10 a.m. Then just below that, you have your join Zoom meeting. And this will be the link that we want to look at. So I'm just going to highlight that and copy it. But if you click on that in the email, it will take you straight to the page to use it on your laptop. But this is your meeting ID here as well. So this will be different for each class, unless it's a recurring class. So all the Revive classes or all the circuit classes. So essentially, so all the Revive classes will have the same meeting ID and the same password, as well as the same link. All the circuit or resistance classes will have the same link, as well as the same meeting ID and the same password. So if we go over to here, so say you clicked on it, it'll bring up that link and it will open up a new window for you, depending on what your browser is. So we'll just let this, excuse me, do its thing. So it's probably a little bit slower because I'm recording this. And so you see, as the Zoom opens up, now I've already got it downloaded onto my laptop, but you're going to get a few different options. So I'm on a Mac at the moment. PC will be slightly different, but I will go through that. So you get either, if you have it downloaded on your laptop already, it will come up with this box. And so you can just click Open Zoom. If you don't have it downloaded just yet, it will come up with a box to give you the option to download. If that box doesn't, just come down here, just down below, so you can download and run Zoom. If you haven't used this before, I would jump on about 10 to 15 minutes beforehand, just so that you have enough time to download the process or download the software to get it installed onto your computer. And so once you've got it downloaded, then you'll be able to open it up. And so we just click the Open Zoom meeting, and we'll just wait for that to go. And so you'll see it says launching. And once that opens up, now because I've got it open in another one, this will be interesting to see how it operates. So again, we'll just wait for it to do its thing. All right, we're just going to try it again. Now again, it might be preventing me because I'm already using it in a different window. All right, because it's taking a little bit of time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop. Well, what I'll do is if it comes up with an option to enter a meeting ID, we just go back to the email just here. And so the meeting ID is what we want. If it asks for a password, this will be the passwords or whatever password is there for that meeting will be the one that we want. It will also ask you to put your name down in there. So that will be the name that will come up on your screen when you do come in. So what I would ask is that don't put your email address in for that because if we are watching you and we want to, if we need to correct anything or give you a little bit of assistance, I would just, if you want to put in, your name or whoever is in the room, so we've got both your names, please do that there so that we can, again, know who we're talking to because we're going to have quite a few people on here. So we don't want to spend too much time running through. And if you've got, a unique email address, we want to make sure that we know who we're talking to. You might find, whether you have myself or one of the other trainers, during a class, you might have a trainer from a different complex who might not know you, or you might not know them. So it just makes it a little bit easier for everybody. All right, so I'm going to stop this screen share, and then I'll come back to me. So I want to take you through what you see here. So if you just, on an iPad, if you touch, the layout will be slightly different, but on here, this is on a desktop. So if you highlight your cursor, you can send it to full screen if you want. And again, you'll have your little tabs up here. You won't have the recording because that is just on my screen. But when you come in to, let's just get rid of this. If I click on participants, and you can do the same on your screen, it'll come up with everybody who's, it'll come up with yours. So as I can see exactly who is in the room. And I can mute you. You can unmute yourself if you want. You can turn your camera on and off. We will probably set it so that if you don't want to have your camera on, you will not come up on the screen because we won't be able to see you anyways. You'll just come up as a black image. Now on my screen and on yours, when there's more participants here, it'll say gallery view up in this top right corner. On an iPad, it'll come up over here and it'll say gallery view. That's not necessarily the view that you'll be in, but the main view that you'll have is that there will be a big screen or a big video or a big image of who's ever talking, and you'll have a bunch of smaller videos of everybody else in the room up the top here. And that will be your speaker view. There will be arrows on either side, so I will be able to scroll through at the top if I have it on this one. If you have it on this one, you can right-click on your mouse, and it'll bring up a tabs menu. I don't think it'll allow me to do it because there's nobody else in the room. But what will happen is that you will be able to pin me or the trainer or whoever you want to be that main screen. Because what will happen if you're in speaker view, who's ever, so I'm trying to talk here, but who's ever along the top here, when they speak, if somebody starts speaking and the software recognizes them as speaking, they will then become the larger screen. So if you don't want other people to be interchanging and coming in onto the screen and you just want the instructor there, then you'll be able to pin that video or that icon to the screen so that it's the only one, regardless of who's talking. You'll still be able to communicate with one another, just like we do in a class. We want to try and keep it social and keep your communities. You might get to meet new people. If you haven't tried some of the classes before, you'll be able to do so. And we just want to have a fun. like I said, always give us some feedback. If we're doing something that isn't optimal, let us know, because again, we're learning just as much as you are, and this stuff is always changing. Now, up in this corner, like I said, you'll have gallery view. And if you click on that, how it will change is, say we have 9 people in the class, it will then come up like a tic-tac-toe board. So you'll get 9 exact same size screens along yours. So you'll be able to see everybody equally. And we can have up to 49 people in one gallery view. If there's more than that in the class, there'll be a little arrow over here, so we'll be able to scroll through. Whether, I've got a 42-inch set up in the garage for when we do our sessions, so that if we did have that many, so even if we have 10 people or 9 people, it still blows it up. I think some of you have been able to sort of get used to the technology and what we call mirroring. So what you see on your laptop or your iPad, you can mirror it up onto your big screen so that you can see it a lot more clearly. And if that's something that you're unable to do but have the capabilities of doing, maybe we can do a video on showing you how to do that as well. Again, we want to make it as simple as possible, because I know if you're using one of these, it's going to be a much smaller screen than what you have on a laptop, on a desktop, or on if you got a smart TV, or if you can connect it to your TV. So that's what I'm finding as well. And so again, if we just bring up these, and again, it's just I like using the gallery view, because it allows me to see everybody equally, and I don't need to scroll through quite as often. My image will still be, or my video will still be up there in one of those little sections. So you will have the option to still see me. It's not just participants who turn up. When we look at some of the controls of this, if you sort of highlight, you'll see a mute button down here. So if you just click this little arrow, you'll be able to look at settings and different ways of using your audio. Generally, when you first set it up, it's going to use your microphone and your speaker on your system, or on your phone or your tablet. Now you can also, if we just get rid of that by clicking that arrow, if we click the mute button, you'll see when I clicked it, you got a red arrow or a red line through there. That means it mutes it, so nobody can hear what you're saying. So if you want to curse and swear at me, call me funny names, well, one, you can, not be muted, or if you didn't want anybody else to hear, you can mute that. And so just by pushing that, so I'll do it again. I'm not going to speak while it's muted. So you'll see that, you can't hear anything. And same with video. If you click on the video, it's just going to bring up some different options. So I'm using a Mac, so it's got a FaceTime camera already built in. If yours doesn't have one built in and you have a webcam set up, it will pop up in here as well as an option for you to choose. But most phones, most tablets, all have cameras on them as well. But if you want to stop the video, don't want people to see you, or don't want me to see you, you just click that button, and you'll see just your picture will come up on there. There's no point in me doing a class if you can't see me. So it's much easier for you to watch me and then go through with the trainer. We've also then sort of trying to listen. I've had to talk people through a session without video, just with technical issues, and we can do it, but I'd much prefer you to be able to see me, because it makes a lot more sense. Here we've also got security button. Like I said, with the participants, I can get rid of that button, or that bit on the side over here. If you want to send me a message, you can just click the chat down below, and then it's just like sending a text message or a Facebook message. I can get rid of that. We'll get rid of the participants. I also have controls on how to pause and stop recording. And if you want little emojis, if you want to put little reactions, clapping, thumbs up, that type of thing. I don't think I've ever done one. So if we put that up, and so you get little reactions that pop up. I don't know if you can download anymore, if that's the only two. Again, I've never really used them. But that will give you a quick review, or a quick, well, I don't even think this has been quick. but I give you a walkthrough on how to use the software so that we can get you guys going back into some exercise classes. We've run some trial ones, and again, we've had some technical issues. I won't lie, and we've had some hiccups. But as we get better at it, as you get used to it, I think it's going to make for a wonderful experience. We do have audio, and where I'm just learning how we can put music, play music on the classes from the computer, as opposed to trying to play it through this and use the speakers or the microphones on the laptop to play it through that. So we're always sort of evolving and learning how to do things better. And security on Zoom is improving as well. Again, this is something new that they're used to. I know there have been some big companies, say like the U.S. government, some education companies like NASA, Elon Musk, his space program, they've stopped using them, but they've got highly sensitive, high top secret information that they don't want to share. For us, just going through this, if somebody wants to hack in, we might teach them. They might be a bit frightened with what we can surprise them with. But I think with security, like I said, this up here says that our connection is encrypted, so that gives me a lot more peace of mind to offer you a safe environment without anything happening. And again, we wouldn't be choosing this if we felt like we were vulnerable, because again, my information is just as important as yours. I don't want everybody learning my trade secrets, but I want you to feel safe. And again, if you do have any questions, you can email me at info@onebodywellness.com.au. I'll put that under the video. I think I promised that in a previous video and kind of forgot. But if you're watching this, you probably got it through an email that I would have sent to you. So you can always reply to the email that will have the update for this video when I get it up live. So hopefully that should be in about 30 minutes, assuming everything goes well. But I'm going to finish up here. If I've missed anything, like I said, please email me, and we hope to get these classes up fairly soon, because I know I've got trainers that are itching to that they miss training you guys because they really enjoy it. I miss training you guys, and so we're working with Halcyon as well to try and get you guys these classes as quickly as possible. But once the classes do start, everything that you need, so you don't need to worry about going to Halcyon, and it'll all be through me. So any questions that you do have, please direct them to me. I'm more than happy to do as many videos as we need to do to make sure that you're safe and that you're comfortable with using the software. Because like I said, this is new for most of us, and some of us, this is going to be a massive learning curve. So we want to make it as easy as possible. We'll do as many videos as we need to make sure that you feel comfortable, but also more importantly, so we can do it quickly to get you guys up to speed, so that we get you back on track, so that when we can get you back into the facilities, hopefully not too long in the near future, then you guys, haven't skipped a beat, right back into it. So whether it's in the gym, in the leisure room, outdoors, in the pool, whatever it happens to be, we want to make sure that we keep your level of fitness up to where you've worked so hard to get it to. So thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to talking to you soon. All right, bye for now.